Lesbians, what was your breaking point with a toxic girlfriend? The most traumatic experience of my life was the 4 excruciating years I spent with my ex. She would frequently invite me on dates, telling me to look my best and then just not show up. She tried to strangle my cat Mittens despite the fact he had gotten me through the years of abuse from my father, who she also had a great friendship with. The worst part was, I thought she was the one all along, since she initially rescued me from him. One day I reached my breaking point when I refused to get intimate with her because my period cramps were too painful, and she punched me in the stomach and said, "Just making sure you're not lying." When I began to weep, she yelled at me to shut up and threw a glass at me. That was the final straw. The next day I walked into her room and asked her if she felt bad about what she did. She admitted it was uncalled for, but that I was kinda overreacting about it. I told her it was over, and I was leaving tonight. She didn't say anything other than cool. I asked her if she even loved me. Maybe deep down she really did. But she said, "Nah, you're really ugly." It took a minute for me to process that. I've always looked older than most girls my age because of my wrinkles. She told me that she thought my body was super hot, but I was so ugly and she could barely stand to look at me. She delivered the final blow by telling me that was the reason she liked doing it in the dark. In an instant, the rose-tinted glasses fell off and I saw her for the cruel woman she was. I dumped her on the spot, telling her that she was free to be with anyone now. I honestly expected her to chase after me as I left her house, but she didn't move an inch. I went back home, where I was living with my grandma, and she saw me crying. She asked what was wrong, and it took an hour of me sobbing to finally tell her what happened. She tried her best to comfort me and tell me she didn't deserve me, but I just felt stupid for ignoring every red flag. I went to sleep that night hating myself, but I decided that I was never going to let anyone make me feel this way again. I was going to get pretty if it was the last thing I did. The next day, I went out and bought multiple beauty products to help with my multiple problems. I washed my hair regularly with salon-level products, and used creams to rid the wrinkles from my face. Every time I looked at myself in the mirror, my ex's words played over and over again in my head. I was so sure I was going to be pretty after thoroughly taking care of myself, but all that hope died after a month because only my hair got fixed. That didn't help my appearance at all though, since the wrinkles were still evident on my face. I didn't even feel like a girl at that point. I would have lost all my faith right there had it not been for the single thought I had while looking at myself in the mirror. How did my grandma look so young at 70? Not only did my grandma look better than me, she looked 50 years old. That's when I remembered that my grandma had worked in the beauty industry for decades. She knew all the best anti-aging and hydration products. I don't know why I hadn't thought to ask her for a product sooner. So I fixed my mistake by asking her what she used to look young. I mean, she didn't even have wrinkles. She told me that she uses a Cure micro-infusion system, and explained that it's a stamp that pokes your skin with needles thinner than hair to make the serum the kit comes with enter directly into your skin. I was scared about using needles, but my grandma reassured me that you can't even feel them, and I should try the serum out because putting a serum directly into your skin instead of the surface makes the skin smoother and hydrated, and would give me the young look I wanted. I didn't hesitate to buy the Cure micro-infusion system because I needed a win after everything that happened with my ex. When my order came, I began using it, and in only 7 days my wrinkles started to go away. In a month, I kept staring at myself on any reflective surface I could find because I couldn't believe that was my face staring back at me. I was close to looking pretty and young. In 4 months, my wrinkles were finally gone so my skin was glowing. You wouldn't be able to tell that I used to look old. In a way, I'm glad I went through all the BS with my ex because it led me to finding out about the Cure micro-infusion facial system, but it also makes me want to never sleep with someone in the dark ever again.